Pleiades and Pleiadian starseeds come with a huge variety. It is known as the Seven Sisters, and it is divine feminine orientated. Today we will talk about the Pleiades, but wow, there is a lot to cover. A lot of information. Where should I start? Well, first of all, there's Alcyon. It is the capital of the entire Pleiades. That is where the capital planet is located at. It is the most advanced city technological wise, and it is a major city where the Pleiadian Council headquarters is stationed at. It is also one of the headquarters for the Galactic Councils, or GFL, Galactic Federation of Light, like the Jedi Council from Star Wars. So I can see a lot of conferences and leaderships going on there. Just like our government system, except they are not as corrupted as us. In our world's government system, the energy I picked up was there's a lot of backstabbing, betrayal, power hunger, greed, and the list goes on. But in Alcyon, it's about the welfare of the collective. People with major lifetimes in Alcyon tends to be a good speaker, a very good leader, they are confident on stage, good actors and performers. They are very good ambassadors, they are good at bridging the peace, and they are good at persuasion too. These starseeds are also genuinely care about the welfare of the planet, and they want to help with global issues such as pollution, poverty, and homelessness. They also tend to be somewhat involved in politics and governments, or they generally have a good knowledge about them. So these are the starseed traits from Alcyon. The next we have is Pleion. This is a more distant star, and it is where the elves civilization came from. It is so similar to Valinor from Lord of the Rings. Beautiful trees of life, beautiful landscape, the lakes are magnificent, trees come with different multiple colors and some of them are glowing. So the forest is one of the most beautiful places, and the elves are very connected to the forest. I've been saying beautiful all the time, but that's the only thing I can describe about this place. There are also beaches, and I actually have a few realization. Just a week ago, I went to the beach at night. It was 2 AM in the morning, and the moon was large. Surprisingly, I've never seen a moon that large. I rarely seen it, but that week the moon was large, and it was beautiful and bright. The ocean, the lights, the moon was very bright that night, so the ocean was reflecting that light. And I feel a very strong sense of longing from that scenery. And the Elvish land had that similar scenery. Then I realized, elves are descendants from Lyra. They are literally descendants from Lyra. There are also many Lyrans settled at Pleion. A lot of Lyrans went to Pleiadians, but Pleion was one of their main homes. Just like Lyrans, elves are drawn to the moon, they are drawn to nights, they are drawn to bodies of water, they are heavily connected to nature, and they are animal empaths. They can feel animal emotions. They really value having a peaceful and adventurous life simultaneously. They really want peace. Peace is so important to them. You know, I myself nowadays, I just really want a peaceful life without worrying about anything. And when I'm in a lower mood, I often walk to the beach at night where nobody is around, and I just stare at the moon, stare at the ocean. It brings me a lot of sense of wonder and nostalgia for some reasons. And I think it does for most Lyrans too. So most Lyrans starseed definitely have had lifetime in Pleiadian. Elves also really love art and music just like the Lyrans do. They love musical instruments such as the flute, the violin, the piano, etc. They love painting. They have really good eyes. Or they have a very sharp eyes. They are very good at seeing things. They see very well and they can see very well at the dark, just like the Lyrans. The Elvish practices bow as part of its tradition and art. They hold a lot of bow competitions, and winners get the title as the Bowmaster. Merope is another interesting place. This star is located in the south. It holds a lot of High Priestess energy. This specific planet I saw was full of yellow and orange, but the energy is a lot lighter compared to Alpha Centauri. The atmosphere is also yellow and orange. Everything was full of orange and yellow there. Here I saw a lot of magnificent temples, and they are all very well structured and organized. They look very modern, and I can see why this star system is known for its priestess energy. This is a planet of sacred healing. The healing reminds me of Kundalini awakening because of the goddess energy and the feminine energy. It does look somewhat religious because of the temple, and there's a lot of people and a lot of them are gathering at the same place. And people are very quiet near the temples. The temples are gigantic like the cathedrals, but they are even bigger than that. They are also orange and yellow color. People often travel there for Thanksgiving, for daily prayers. They receive healings and blessings from the goddess in Pleiades. I don't know how to say, but the collective was able to enhance the experience of healing for themselves. The temple holds so much concentrated power, not only because of the priestess or goddess energy, but also the collective energy. Everyone believes in the healing of the goddess from the temple, and that's why they are very mystical. When everyone believes in the same thing, its manifestation powers will be a lot more powerful. So because of this, Pleiadian starseeds tend to have a lot of priestess energy in them. They are also into holistic healing, and they are healers themselves. They admire temples, churches, and sacred space, as it holds plenty of healing energies. Well, truth be told, I'm not found with religion. As you know from the previous video, I'm not found with their systems, because they take away the sovereignty of us. But it's true, the church and temples do indeed hold a lot of sacred energy, and many even call them portals. Literal spiritual portals. I do agree with that. There's a lot of collective power in each of these spaces through prayer and dedication. And as time goes, these spaces become a lot more mystical and powerful. That is how the energy is strongly manifested into reality. I also do like visiting churches and temples because of the energy. They do hold special energy compared to the other environments. Next, we have the most anticipated. It is Maia. I visited Maia through astral travel, and not only I did visit there, but I even talked to the Pleiadians that were there. And there is one crucial thing I learned about my visit to Maia. It is the ability to be open and to accept. Oftentimes, we are too rigid on certain things. We believe something is negative when we are told, without actually experiencing themselves and thinking them critically and analyzing critically. If we let go of all the programming that made us think something is bad or good, they are actually interesting and they give us more perspectives in life. That's how we learn. That's how we learn in a deeper level. So what I channeled in Maia was there are 2 planets, 2 places, 2 completely different realms. One is an uninhabitable planet that has relatively lower vibration than others, and another is a higher vibration with a lot of life and spirit. Let's go with the one with a lower vibration. When I arrived at this realm, at the beginning it was unbearable. The snowstorm was very heavy and I could barely see a thing. And there's obviously no life and creatures here because of the hostile weather and condition. The temperature was extremely cold and there was a very frequent snowstorm. The snowstorm was like never ending. It blocked most of my vision while I was walking. So all I did was I kept walking and walking until I found myself inside an ice palace, which looked very artificial. The room was a little dark blue, but the palace was huge. There were several ice witches dressed in different colors of blue, dark blue, indigo, dark violet. They all looked very solemn and calm, not showing any signs of emotions. They were very quiet and barely spoke a word. So I went to speak with one of them. I asked them, "What are you guys doing here?" She said, "This place is where we learn low vibrational magic. Only environments such as here are where we can learn these specific types of magic through the dark goddess energy, harnessing that energy. And only when we learn the darkness we can achieve the light. Only when we learn the darkness we can know how to defeat them when they are misused." Ice represents loneliness, but it also can represent solitude and sober peace. The tone was soft and calm, but displays no emotions whenever she speaks. It is as solidified as ice. "This is the way of our lives and how we express ourselves," she said. "And apparently they have been here hundreds and thousands of years doing experiments and tests." I asked them, "Isn't that a bit depressing?" In which they responded, "Not at all. It may be challenging to adapt, but once you get in, it's addicting. We are able to discover so much. DNA morphing and alchemy to acquire the abilities of other creatures, such as instantaneous healing and regeneration. The ability to shapeshift into certain creatures to survive in this brutal storm. We treat it as a learning and experimentation ground of pursuing spiritual wisdom, but through our dark goddess's energy. We alchemize this drug to give us superhuman strength. We even created this drug to raise our masculine energy to experience one day as a male." Anyways, there's a lot of interesting magic there. The true essence of dark magic revolves around shadow work. To fully accept your shadow as part of your own self and cooperate with her, dark magic will then be achieved. We learn to control our inner demons and utilize it to our benefits. The reason why it's called dark is not because it's bad nor evil, it's just a new perspective of life. In fact, most souls turn negative not because they accepted the dark, but they let it consume them. When the darkness consumes the soul, the darkness is the host. The soul loses its sovereignty. But we, on the other hand, were able to accept and harmonize with the dark while maintaining our sovereignty simultaneously. Not only do we get to learn and understand the true dark side, but we get to experience them without hurting anyone. Many pure souls have these struggles. Like us, for example, we live on a planet of duality and we constantly have to feed on a lot of negativity and a lot of this uncomfortable energy. So they are here to learn and bring that information back once we are done, teaching souls how to harmonize with our shadows. I think this is part of a journey for us humans too that are living on Gaia. The world needs to understand that light and dark may be an opposite force, but they are two different perspectives to be understood as. Once humanity get to learn both sides openly without judgment, the bridge will be open and humanity's consciousness will evolve. Right now you guys are only picking one side, terrified and threatened by the other side. That fear is blocking the bridge, and you are fighting amongst each other over emotions that do not serve you. Learn to incorporate openness and acceptance to polarity. It is definitely not an easy task, but if you can achieve that, you will be a formidable force. And that's all they have to say. So I gave thanks and bid my farewell to them. And this time I was taken to another planet. It was a more high vibrational planet this time. Immediately I was above the ocean. I saw the sun on the horizon. It was about to set, like 5 PM in the afternoon if we put it in Earth time. I was flying straight to the sun until I spotted an island. It was a small island and it looked pretty plain. There's a forest, but in the middle, it was a circle of grasses, like a magic circle. No trees but land. There I saw witches, this time dressed similar to the dryads. It's all females. I went there and started talking to them, and they were very friendly as well. They told me that their purpose here is to retreat. Maia is known for that, and it's a spiritual ground for development. The civilization is more spread out here, and there are many more other islands, not just this one. We were not the only ones here, they stated. Their intentions were to raise the overall vibration of this planet, and by doing that, it can positively affect the entire star system of Maia. We create our own heavenly community here. We are here to enjoy life in a loving family of sisterhood. It does sound similar to some of the retreats we have here. We harmonize with nature, giving our love and care for it. And we raise the vibration of love of the entire planet. And that's why this planet is also known for its harmonistic energies. The magic they worked on was growing trees and plants through soil and earth magic, water magic from the ocean to create waves, and fire magic, fire dances. It has all the elements included. And they told me feminine energy works really well with nature. It's about harmonizing them to use this magic at will easier. Feminine energy is about harmony with nature and working with it. By harmonizing and holding faith in the outside forces, it magically responds back to us. So what we give responds back to us. And whereas masculine energy is about working with self, developing that self-power to push through without being dependent on others. This lesson is good to boost our inner confidence and self-esteem. So feminine energy is about harmonizing with the outside forces and working with them. Masculine energy is self-preservation, self-pushing through to make things happen. Okay, from here on point, please be open as I will touch on some sensitive topics. So they told me my feminine energy is suppressed. And I told them I'm often considered more feminine than other males. I'm quite emotional myself. They responded, yes, but you don't feel safe expressing them. You are doubtful when you express. You are afraid of criticism, and I think many people on your planet are afraid due to the environment they created. And they said, orgasm is a very good way to raise your feminine energy, and we can help you with that. Just for a moment, I felt embarrassed and shamed, but I quickly switched back to openness. I did not want to follow the patterns of this world. They told me not to be ashamed. It is part of the depowering agenda to make you feel ashamed. Your planet has been demonizing sex, nudity, and orgasm to make them look shameful and dirty. They have changed it into something to be misused and indulged upon, such as pornography and BDSM. And it's, pornography and BDSM, they are low vibration, very low vibration. Because of this, the feminine energy is greatly suppressed and framed with shadow feminine. The feminine collective was also deeply wounded and traumatized from histories of rape and abuse, so it became over-defensive and sometimes even threatened by the other sex. And then they are taught to hide their bodies. We are all taught to hide our bodies because they are unholy, especially for a woman. They're taught that sex is a bad thing and should be minimized, even though it's one of the best ways to increase feminine energy, to express ourselves authentically and raise our overall vibration. In here, we are not afraid to be naked in front of everyone, and we do not consider sex and orgasm to be a shameful act at all. So Pleiades is very open about sex and nudity. And it's the opposite, in fact. Orgasm is so powerful that it raises the love vibration of all of us. It helps us manifest powerful magics and miracles. So I definitely agree with that. Like, orgasm raises feminine energy greatly, and feminine energy is the most needed in manifestation. So I told them that the relationship between males and females are very isolated today. Many men and women are shy today and unable to express themselves, and especially men. They are shy around women, and oftentimes this is the pattern we see in everywhere in media too. They said the shyness in the masculine collective came from guilt, and in the feminine collective it came from fear. And you incorporate that guilt because you are incarnated as a male, so I incorporate the collective consciousness of male. And likewise, if someone incarnates as a female, they incorporate that collective of fear because they incorporate that feminine collective. But it is also part of the agenda to divide and diminish our love for each other. And that's the reason why they can't shine their masculine and feminine light. You shouldn't feel guilty being yourself as long as your intentions are pure. You shouldn't feel guilty expressing yourself. Most of you already know this stuff in your hearts, but we are too afraid to look inside and say it ourselves because of how taboo it has become. But if you don't work with these, we will all stagnate at the same stage of isolation. They gave me the last advice before we departed. We should first drop any sexual media or entertainment that are of low vibration, such as porn. Masturbation is good as a method of orgasm, but you must do it out of love. Set the intention and environment surrounded by unconditional love. You may ask your guides for assistance to set that environment for you. Orgasm is a strong manifestation tool, so the intention is very important. It is also the best way to incorporate self-love and open our expressive divine feminine energy. It is also connected to the sacral chakra and our mother womb, which is birthing new ideas, new creations, new self. For women, it is okay to ejaculate, but for men, semen is very strong energy, it's a strong sex energy, so it is not recommended to ejaculate often. Men should practice semen retention and orgasm without ejaculation. And that's the main information I got from them. Pretty interesting, isn't it? It was very educative and eye-opening indeed. So lastly, the characteristics of Pleiadian Starseed. They are drawn to riches, magic, or witchcraft. So now we got elves, we got priestesses, and we got witches. It's quite a variety, isn't it? And there's definitely more. But I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy and learn something in this video, and I hope it resonates, but it's okay if it doesn't. Like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And I'll see you in the next video. Much love, much light. Peace.